Murder in the morning from the Hidden Killers podcast.
Okay, I'm breaking a rule. It's not truly a murder story, but it's one we've been following on and off on True Crime Today for the last several years, and I think it's worth talking about because there's a new documentary or docuseries coming out about them, and we're talking about the Duggars. And the new documentary called Shiny Happy People, Duggar Family Secrets. It's set for release on Prime Video on June 2nd, which is literally like a week away. It just seems insane to me. It's revealing the secrets behind the Duggar family and their affiliated organization, and we're going to talk about this. The Institute of Basic Life Principles. If you're a member of the Institute of Basic Life Principles and don't want to be offended, then stop listening right now.
Yeah, you need to turn this off right this second.
Because I'm going to tell you I'm not going to be nice. And I'm not going to be very respectful. Because I don't have to be nice or respectful to things that I think are fucking insane. And or criminal or predatory. And that organization checks all those boxes. So
Or cult-like.
Or cult-like. Yes. So, unfortunately, that's kind of where that is. Jill Duggar Dillard from the 19 Kids and Counting, along with other family members and friends, are sharing their stories for the first time, alleging misconduct within the IBLP, that's the church, and its founder, Bill Gothard. And this has been going on for quite some time. Bill Gothard stepped down in 2014 as the head of that church that he started in 1961. Because of, any guesses, anyone? Anyone? Cult-like church that is very insulated, run very, very strongly with a very swift authoritarian hand. Oh, yes.
And not really in favor of women? Why did he step down?
What could it possibly be? Sexual misconduct.
No, ding, 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 ding.
No.
See, we need one of those bells.
No one would ever have predicted that happening.
Never.
The docuseries aims to explore the truth behind the wholesome facade of the Duggar family, the reality TV family favorite. It features interviews who claim that IBLP raises little predators and turned every home into an island, which it did. The release of the docuseries follows roughly a year after Josh Duggar, a member of the Duggar family, was sentenced to prison for receiving and possessing child pornography. Yeah. And his wife still stands behind him, by the way. His sentence came after the cancellation of 19 Kids and Counting in 2015 due to resurfaced allegations that he molested his 4 sisters and a babysitter. And he did. And the family, they handled that real well. They went to the police and they pressed charges. He really saw justice. Oh, wait, no, he didn't. This is what happened. This is Jim Bob and Jill Duggar speaking with Megyn Kelly.
How did you first learn that there was a problem with Josh?
Well, 12 years ago, we went through one of the most darkest times that our family's ever gone through. And our son, Josh, came to us on his own, and he was crying. And he had just turned 14. And he said that he had actually improperly touched some of our daughters. And it was...
We were shocked. I mean, we were just devastated. I don't think any parent is prepared for trauma like that.
Speaking of trauma and the way her voice is, anyone want to put some pieces together there when adult women talk like baby girls? That is a telltale sign, kids, of,
And I think we had one ray of hope in that Josh had a tender conscience, and he was the one that came and shared on his own, even though the others really didn't know anything.
Isn't that, they're like talking like they're so proud of him. He came and he told on his own that he molested.
What a good boy. I'm so glad that he admitted that he did these horrific things.
Little Josh, he came and he said on his own, and no one else said anything, but he's...
Of his wrongdoing.
This is a young boy who has come to you with shocking information. What did he say? I mean, how did you respond to him? What was that like, that exchange?
There was so much grief in our hearts. I think as parents, we felt, we're failures. You know, here we tried to raise our kids. To do what's right, to know what's right. And yet, one of our children made some really bad choices. And I think as a parent, we were devastated.
Did he explain why? I mean, was that a question that you asked?
He said he was just curious about girls, and he had gone in and just basically touched them over their clothes while they were asleep, and they didn't even know he had done it. And so we went, and the first thing was to protect the girls, and so we went in.
Bullshit.
Yeah.
Oh, look at how they rally around him, because this is how this religion works. It's very much protect the male, protect the guy.
Well, it's a patriarchy.
100%. So they protect their son, and he was just over the clothes. He was just curious about girls. I'm telling you, guess what? There's all the porn in the fucking world that he could have found if he was curious about girls.
Yep.
That wasn't. We're not living in 1985 where you got to go to the top of your friend's dad's barn and find his old Playboys, which I remember doing.
Yeah. Right.
Going, ooh, look at this. But no, I mean, it's sickening the way that they rally around and protect him as the predator, and really kind of are dismissive of the victims. The girls didn't even know. It was all good. They got up, had Rice Krispies in the morning, and it was just a lovely, Josh, he came down and we went to school. We're all good. And we didn't say anything. Yeah. Continuing.
The girls all sleep together?
Yes, the girls had 2 bedrooms at the time, but anyway,
How many girls were we talking
we
about?
had 5 girls at the time.
Okay.
And so, but anyway, he went in and said he had done this, and so we, first off, of course, really talked to him, and then we went and talked to all the girls and the children.
It was so important for us as parents to talk to our girls and make sure that nothing else had happened. And so
what did they say?
Well, one by one, as we talked with them, none of them were aware of Josh's wrongdoings.
Bull fucking
Hello,
shit.
thanks for calling Glow Talk.
Let's turn the ad off. Yeah. None of them.
Tony,
were.
I'm struggling. I'm struggling here because I want to slap her. I want her voice.
Yeah.
It's just grating. And I know that's not what we're talking about at all here, but this innocent sounding bullshit just is grating upon my soul at the moment. And I'm so sorry if that's being really judgmental, but I'm really struggling here.
They're horrible people. They're horrible people who masquerade behind, again, as many horrible people do, religion. Not insulting religion. You can be a great person, have religion, and it be very positive in your life and helping others. There is nothing wrong with that. What is wrong with it is when you use it as a crutch or a shield to hide crimes and wrongdoings. And God is the thing that's blocking. So, we're really concerned about this. And no, your fucking way you've raised your children, the authoritarian leadership, the strict behavioral codes, the isolation that you have, the manipulation and control that your church teaches, including control tactics like fear, guilt, shame to compel obedience and discourage dissent.
Mm-hmm.
And then suppressing dissent and questioning. Members of this,
not allowing these brilliant children to be able to explore thoughts on their own. They're being put into a box, and that is all that they can do is just focus on these tenets that they put forth instead of allowing them to be out in society and to interact with others and explore what it means to be a teenager, a child, all of these things. No, they are put in this box and the top is nailed down. It just makes me sick.
No, when you do these things, this is what you get. It's the recipe. You have people come into this world as innocent children. You raise them this way, and guess what fucking happens? Mm-hmm. This sort of stuff happens. Some of the aspects of this church, IBLP, the authoritarian leadership, like many organizations labeled as cults, IBLP has strong, charismatic leader in a Gothard who is, we'll talk about him in a minute. He's the guy who started it, who had to step down in 2014 because of the allegations of sexual harassment. They also very much in their homes look as the father of being the authoritarian leader, not just like a loving father who gives direction, but like he can do no wrong pretty much. And the boys for a lot of the place can do no wrong either. IBLP prescribes detailed standards for behavior, dress, and lifestyle, including prohibitions on most popular culture, strict gender roles, and an emphasis on absolute obedience and to authority, particularly parental and male authority. Exactly what we just saw there. It was the boy who did it. Everybody's kind of, oh, well, little Joshy. Isolation, that's another big thing. They're often encouraged or required to separate themselves from mainstream society, including mainstream Christianity, and surround themselves with like-minded individuals. Kind of the opposite of what the Bible teaches. The Bible actually teaches about going out and spreading the word to people, everyone, and not just people of your like-mindedness. Jesus was the one who was hanging out with the hookers and with the prostitutes and the criminals and the lepers and everybody. He wasn't just amongst people who thought exactly like him. I don't understand how so many of these weird religions totally ignore the main tenets of Jesus's teachings and somehow think this is the right thing to do. Obviously, that can lead to insular communities with limited outside contact, which, of course, could also then lead to your son who has issues already, and looking at the leaders of your church that have sexual harassment problems going on. If those are your big people you look up to as strong, wonderful human beings and examples of male behavior, it's no fucking wonder that your 14-year-old started trying to diddle with the sisters and the babysitter.
Absolutely.
Manipulation and control. Many have accused him of using manipulation and control tactics, fear, guilt, shame to compel obedience, and again, discourage dissent. That's why they didn't say anything. That's why this took so long for this to come out. That's why these young girls were left to still live in the same fucking house as their brother who molested them. And this lie that, they were sleeping. It wasn't anything.
Oh, God.
You fucking idiots. Like, they are the worst fucking parents I've ever seen. The thing is, okay, maybe not ever seen, but they're right up there. They're close. Like last year, he was running for Senate or something, and there was a big, giant billboard on the highway with Jim Bob's picture on it. Thankfully, he lost. But there's this, there's a godlike complex with these people where they're so narcissistic that they don't see what the rest of the world sees in them.
It's terrifying that they are out in our society. And the thing that this whole docuseries struck me when I watched the first even 30 seconds is that they are shooting for world domination. That's their goal. And that's terrifying. Let's
take a listen to the trailer. This is Shiny Happy People, Duggar Family Secrets. It comes out June 2nd on Amazon Prime Video. Here's the trailer.
World domination was the goal.
If you have not gone through the basics seminar, I highly recommend it.
IBLP.
IBLP.
IBLP. The IBLP teachings aren't Christianity. There's something entirely different.
We have, for every one of you, the answer.
Thank you for agreeing to talk to us.
There's a story that's going to be told, and I would rather be the one telling it.
TLC created a PR show for Gothard's teachings.
You've probably heard of the Duggar family.
Everyone knew who the family was. We were part of IBLP as early as I can remember.
The biggest feature of Bill Gothard's teachings is authority. Kids obey the parents, wives obey their husbands. Everyone obeys Bill Gothard.
Gothard turned every father into a cult leader and every home into an island.
I first read The Handmaid's Tale in college. I was like, this is my life.
Homeschooling is kind of the linchpin of this whole project.
The kids were not being well educated. Instead of learning math, you're learning slut shaming.
The Institute raises little predators.
Breaking news, a dark family secret is exposed.
It's like the epitome of evil. Breaks my heart to think about the girls.
Well, how deep do we go? Because that's a rabbit hole. Man.
This is much bigger than the Duggars. You give these kids training in political engagement. From there, you send them into the halls of Congress, into the White House as interns. They're playing the long game.
What is going on here?
The shiny, happy images is the sugar, and we're all high on it. They were just deceiving us all.
The real story is a much bigger one.
Now is the time.
It's going to be very interesting to watch that and see the behind the scenes testimony of the ones who are speaking out against the family. I don't even understand really quite why anyone would still be hanging out and not saying anything. But again, that's how cults work. They get you in and they don't let you out. And it takes a very strong mind to realize that everything you have been indoctrinated into is wrong, is evil, because it resets your whole life. And that's a scary thing to have to face. And that's why I don't think a lot of people do who end up in these situations.
I was reading about a woman who stepped out of the Quiverful movement.
Okay.
Where basically, let me look and see if I've got this, where it's basically comes from a passage in the Bible that God won't give you more children than you can handle. So thinking of a bow and arrow and having a quiver full. And talking about how she can't even watch TV. She doesn't really understand how people can sit and watch TV and watch movies. She doesn't understand dancing. She's having a hard time relating to basically all of society. Yeah. She cannot function. And to me, that just screams, you are in a cult.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it is. But they're taught to believe that everything they're doing is the right way. And the outside world is bad and evil and horrible. And you know what? Our outside world is bad and evil and horrible.
It sure is.
But you know what? You're in an even worse one right now.
Yeah, because you're not there of your own free will. And that's where the problem is. Those of us out in society, we are choosing to be here and we can take in what we want and we can expel what we want. They don't have that choice.
Exactly. Bill Gothard, by the way, if you want to go down his reign of terror, and by the way, I want to say this, he's never been criminally charged on anything, mainly because of statute of limitations. So he does continue to deny any wrongdoing. Despite this, the allegations have had a very significant impact on the reputation of him and the church. Sexual harassment, one of the big ones. Numerous women have accused him of inappropriate behavior, including unwanted physical contact and emotionally manipulative relationships. The allegation suggests that Gothard used his position of power within the organization to exploit young women, many of whom were underage at the time of the alleged incidents. Sexual misconduct and abuse. Some of the allegations against Gothard go beyond just harassment and include sexual abuse. According to the accusers, Gothard allegedly molested several young women under his authority and then covering up the abuse, just like the Duggars did. In addition to the allegations of personal misconduct, Gothard and IBLP have been accused of covering up cases of child abuse and sexual assault within the organization. The allegations suggest that IBLP leadership, including Gothard, knew about instances of abuse but failed to report them to law enforcement or take appropriate action to protect the victims. I thought it was very telling in that little clip there in the trailer that Gothard, basically, it was a big cult that he started and then created and allowed then individual cults to kind of fester in each and every single household the way that the system is set up.
Mm-hmm.
So
absolutely.
This will...
I kind of want to know, what do you think REM thinks of this? The group REM with the shiny, happy people.
That is the title of the thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it sure is. That struck me right away.
I don't know. I mean, do you have a copyright on that title? I mean, it's not a song that this is being made, so that I don't know. That would be interesting. I would be, if I were REM, I'd be like, hey, use this song in the show.
Absolutely. People download things. They hear them in shows and they go, I want to hear that again. So, for them, it could be a really bountiful thing, I would guess.
I would imagine so. June 2nd on Prime Video. Check it out.
Murder in the morning.
Shiny, happy people, Duggar Family Secrets. It's going to be one you're going to want to probably binge. So, all right. For Stacey, I'm Tony. Stay with us.
From the Hit Killers Podcast.